the Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya took to the foot of the Supreme Court building to address the nation. His main remonstration was the acts of interference with the judiciary by the executive arm of government. The executive has continuously acted in a manner that undermines the place of judicial authority and the judiciary at large. Today, the Law Society of Kenya, Southwest Branch, comes out to add a voice in calling out the executive headed by the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, for their acts and omissions that preceded the statement by the Chief Justice. This is in line with the objects of upholding the Constitution granted to the Law Society of Kenya, to which we are part. That's Section 4 of the Law Society of Kenya Act. The operation of the judicial arm of government is firmly hinged on its independence. The principle of separation of power between the arms of government is also significant for proper running of any democratic government, and Kenya is a democratic government. No arm of government is superior to the other. All mandates are donated to each by the Constitution of Kenya, 2010. The Constitution boldly embodies these principles of democratic governance. Article 1 and Article 160 of the Constitution sets out some of the tenets of the independence of the judiciary. Just like judicial authority, executive power derives from the people and should be exercised in line with the Constitution. Part of the executive power vested in the President is the appointment of judges of the superior courts. In order to achieve the principle of separation of power, the Constitution establishes the Judicial Service Commission, an independent commission, and mandates it to recommend to the President persons for appointment as judges of the superior courts. In addition, Parliament enacted the Judicial Service Act 2010 to realize the provisions of the Constitution and to provide, among other things, the procedure of appointment of judges and their removal. As we speak, the Commission, with the Attorney General sitting as a member and a representative of the Executive, followed the elaborate procedure prescribed by the Act and recommended 41 individuals for appointment as judges of the superior courts. The subsequent step to this was as mandatorily and without any qualification provided by Article 166 1B of the Constitution for the President to appoint the recommended persons. The Law Society of Kenya, the Southwest Branch, observes that the Judicial Service Commission dispensed with the most critical aspect of public participation by inviting submissions from the general public. It's quite biting that the Attorney General, who failed to properly make representations on the impropriety of the nominated judges during the vetting, has the audacity of making now a statement castigating the Chief Justice. We remind the former justice, because the Attorney General is a former judge of the Court of Appeal, that is a member of the bar and should recall the higher duty to him by his oath of admission and live to it. As a branch of the Law Society of Kenya, we regret that the President, on the misleading advice of the Attorney General or otherwise, has chosen to derogate from his constitutional duty of appointing the recommended individuals despite there being a court order to that effect. Whereas case backlog has been with us in the Kenya judiciary, and there are other factors that may contribute to it, we note that the workload shouldered by the current judges could be greatly reduced by the pending appointments. We are aware that recruitment of more judges is among the strategic plan by the judiciary and the Honorable Chief Justice to increase the expediency in hearing of cases. Case backlog does not only affect the right to a fair trial, but also access to justice. Thus, the President's inaction has made the Executive have a hand in the infringement of these two rights against the requirement that every state organ, constitutional requirement, that every state organ must observe, respect, protect, promote and fulfill rights and fundamental freedoms. Besides, it's a matter of public knowledge that there has been an increase on occasions where the executive has intentionally disregarded a number of court orders directing them to do or not or refrain from doing certain acts. The Attorney General, and you saw him yesterday, has gone ahead to deny the obvious. In his statement issued yesterday, he indicated that there was no disobedience of any court orders relating to the Kariobangi demolitions. And all of us did see on social media the order and subsequent demolitions that happened. This was a failed attempt to sanitize the illegal acts of the executive. As a branch and practitioners who swore to uphold the rule of law, we wish to draw the attention of members of the executive that such disobedience of court orders hurts not only the reputation of the judiciary, but undermines judicial authority. The branch is concerned that the president purports to exercise executive power donated to him by the same constitution whose provision he is now disregarding. It's such selective exercise of executive power and mutilation of the constitution that puts our constitution and the rule of law at risk. To this end, and in line with the object of the society of advancing the rule of law, wish to firmly remind the president and the executive at large to respect the sanctity of the constitution which the people of Kenya gave themselves, lest we join the list of other heads of states who stumbled upon the judiciary and denied Kenyans a proper forum for dispute resolutions. The members of the branch, and there are many with me here, wish to support all the resolutions of the General Council of the Law Society of Kenya, as far as they are aimed at safeguarding the disregard of the rule of law. This includes the resolution by the Council seeking to petition the National Assembly and the Senate to initiate a motion to impeach the President of the Republic of Kenya. That's Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.